All right, fastest 15 minutes in social media, fastest 15 minutes on the internet. My name is Judson Powell. All right, anyway, we're going to go and talk a little bit more about this election because that's like basically the most important thing, in my opinion, facing our country and our people. The thing about it is, yesterday, I kind of didn't, I didn't do anything really yesterday. And my wife was like, just sleep, relax. And I was like, I can't sleep and relax. I be trying to do it, can't do it. Um, I don't know. I'm just not that. I'm just not built like that. I always feel like if I'm not up, and I get up early, so I always feel like if I'm not up and I'm not doing something, I feel like I'm missing something. So that's the type of person I am. But here's the thing. Um, I was like watching, and she turned on the TV, so I'm sitting there and I'm watching TV, which I don't do. I don't really watch a lot of TV, and so the channel that she had it on, they were showing a lot of political ads because I really don't pay a lot of attention. But yesterday, I paid a lot of attention to political advertisements. And the one thing that I will tell you is that Trump is a liar. All right, his ads are so outrageous and so full of lies that you can't even imagine. I mean, it's just unfathomable how he just lies and says things that are simply not true. And not even really talking about, not the thing is, he's not even really talking about Biden or Harris or anybody like that. Basically, he's talking about stuff that apparently at some point he did, that I guess nobody knows about, and then and so then the next thing that's funny and very curious to me, I have a lot of friends. I have a daughter. I have a daughter that's in the Air Force right now. And I have friends, that have served in the military. And, I have people in my family that served in the military. My uncle served in the Air Force for like, uh, God, he must have been in the Air Force for like 45 years or something like that. And so, so I always like, the military is not for me. Don't get me wrong. I can't, I just can't do that. And the other thing is that I'm like a self-starter, self-disciplined guy. So I don't really, I don't need anybody to tell me like when to get up, what to do, da 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 da. I don't need like a regimen. And, but for some people, they like that or they need that. All right. So, and I'm not mad at you if you do. But here's the thing, when he put down the Marines, and my former father-in-law was a Marine, by the way. So I'm like looking at this stuff, and I'm like, and then and that's the other thing. And I got friends that were Marines or that are Marines and stuff like that. And I'm like, these people work hard. They put in a lot of time and effort to be good at the stuff that they do. So for him to be like, calling military people who are in the military, calling them losers, is kind of like, kind of like way out there. And then the other thing that I kept noticing was he kept talking about how the Democrats were going to raise taxes, which is false news, because actually every study that they've done over the last few years has shown that the Republicans exponentially raise taxes every time that they are in office. And why? Because you got to look at it like this. When they give tax cuts and tax breaks, the money has to come from somewhere. All right? You can't give somebody a tax break or something like that the money does not exist. And so that's kind of the theme of trickle down economics, or whatever they want to call it. I don't know what they call it now. But anyway, back in the day it was Reaganomics. But now, it's like none of this stuff is working. And if you notice, the only people that are getting rich, and the funny thing about it is, during this pandemic, the only people that are getting rich are the rich, are billionaires. Billionaires are actually, the Elon Musk and the Bezos and the Zuckerbergs and the Gateses and all of those people. If they've been showing, like, throughout this entire pandemic, their wealth has been going up, and your wealth has been going down. You just don't realize that it's gone down. Why? Because Trump doesn't say anything. They basically just, then they say, oh, the unemployment rate went down. But the reason why the unemployment rate went down is because there's nobody left to be able to file unemployment. Everybody's already unemployed. See, that's what I'm saying. So it comes down to you have to be able to interpret the propaganda. And if you can't interpret the propaganda, then what you're doing is you're just going. So that's how they lie to you. And that's how they try to win elections. And so basically all he's doing is he's catering to his constituency that was there before. And a lot of them have defected, don't get me wrong. A lot of them have defected. Like I said, I was riding like Thursday, and I was like out here in Phoenix I was on the 101 out on like kind of out north and east, and where Scottsdale and Fountain, and Fountain Hills and all of that stuff is, all the rich neighborhoods, and they had billboards everywhere talking about Republicans for Biden. So I was like, that kind of shocked me too, because that's like Republican country. If there's any place in the country that's like completely Republican, it would be out there. But so my thing is, look, register and vote, and that's the whole thing. Now, let me go on to Ice Cube, because I've been, I love Ice Cube's movies. I love his music, all of that. But guess what? I don't love his politics. I don't think that he's a political leader. He needs to shut up. And all of these rappers and all these ex-rappers and everybody, or actors and all that kind of stuff, shut up. If it's like you don't know what you're talking about. And the reason why I say that they don't know what they're talking about is because they don't understand how. See, this has to be strategic. There has to be a strategy to do all of this. It's not saying that I don't agree with what they're talking about or what they're asking. I believe that there should be reparations and there should be a black agenda. But people like Dr. Claude Anderson and Dr. Boyce Watkins, who are telling people not to vote, there is no power in apathy. There is no, because, and the reason, and I can prove it through the universal laws. The universal, I know y'all go, he always talk about these universal laws, because they're true and they come to fruition. Just look at almost every situation that you go through or that you've been through, and I guarantee you at some point universal law took over. One of those universal laws took over, and you had no control over it. Why? Because the universe is in control. You're not in control. You're in control of you to an extent. But then there's also Aman Ra. Ra is like, Ra is basically all of the unseen and unknown things that are going to happen in the universe. That's what the Most High is about. The Most High is saying, look, you're inside of your nature, inside of you, there's something there that's unseen, unknown. Just like you don't know that, you didn't know when you were going to be born. You didn't know you don't know when you're going to die. You don't know any of that. You don't know, there's a lot of stuff that you just don't. And those are the type of things that, that Ra is in charge of. All right. And you have to understand that. So, some people say God or whatever you want to call it, a higher power. But the universe is there. And one of the things in the universe is the universal law of action. If you're not taking no action to do anything, not doing something is not action. It's inaction. It's apathy. And that's the whole thing that been trying to tell everybody. It's like, look, okay, if you want President Trump out, all right, but and that's another thing. They have even talked you into believing that it's not so bad to have Trump. But you got to understand, your inaction is going to cause a reaction. Your inaction or your apathy is going to cause a reaction. Why? Because then the universe is going to do what it wants to do instead of listening to what you say. So that's why, what do we always say? Know thyself, and to thine own self be true. Well, it's not being true to yourself to allow somebody to stay in office who's like done a horrible job. And you know what? I've been trying to stress this throughout the last couple of weeks. It's the fact of, look, it has nothing to do with race and all. You know what? All of the racial issues are really out the window. Racism, race issues, all of that, it's really out the window if you really want to know. This comes down to leadership. black, white, green, red, yellow, blue, whatever color the leader is, the leader has to lead. Trump is not a leader. Trump is not that kind of leader. He was a corporate guy. He's a real estate guy. He's not a guy who knows how to come together for political action or to represent the people. He represents himself and he represents his constituency. But as far as representing everybody in the United States or the free world or all that kind of stuff, that is not Donald Trump. And above all is that we have now, I think they said we got like 180,000 deaths from coronavirus, and there's still no clue. And all of these numbers are rising. I saw a report yesterday, and it was talking about the majority of states have seen increases in the number of infections and in the number of deaths. So what I'm trying to get at is that we need leadership. We need somebody that's going to get in there and like get rid of this pandemic, or at least have some kind of effort to get rid of it. He doesn't even care. And this is about leadership. Ain't got nothing to do with, with what he going to do for black people. And the other thing is, y'all need to come off of that, the whole what you going to do for black people. What are black people going to do for themselves? What are you going to do for you? What are you going to do for you? And if you engage them, see, that's the other thing. All y'all want to do is complain, but you don't want to take action. You don't want to engage the politicians. You don't want to engage these people and confront them. That's what it's really about. If you're not going to confront them and say anything, ain't nobody going. If you're sitting at home, it could be you and your wife sitting at home, all right. And say you hungry, right? But you never tell your wife you hungry, or you never fix anything to eat. Then what's the result? You get a result from that. If the result is you still hungry. And if you expected your wife to just fix you something and you didn't ask her or you didn't talk to her about it, if you didn't say, honey, fix me a sandwich, and give me one of them beers out of here, whatever, right? If you don't ask, you ain't gonna get nothing. And I know and in the Christian church, y'all, you have not because you ask not. We all know the vernacular, right? You have not because you ask not. You don't ask. You don't go in and you don't engage the people. That's why, look, when the Tea Party Republicans came about several years ago, that's why they got stuff done. Why do you think homosexuals, look, y'all can complain all y'all want, but homosexuals, the gay, lesbian, all of that stuff community, they get stuff done because they take action. And they confront people and they in people's face all the time. Was my dad used to say squeaky wheel gets the oil. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. If you squeaking all the time, then start squeaking, but don't blame, don't try to, sit up there with some type of agenda, like oh, this person is evil. They're not evil. Neither Trump nor Biden. Ain't nobody never went to him and asked him to do nothing. And certainly not Obama. Y'all just voted for Obama blindly. Nobody said nothing. I know I did. I voted for Obama just because he was black. I'm gonna put it out there just like that. Because he was black, I voted for him. And because I wanted to see a black president. That was it. I had no expectations. And that's a lot of us did that, whether you want to believe it or not. We had no expectations. And so now all of a sudden he gets out of office. Well, he didn't do anything for us, but you didn't ask him to. You never asked him. He never ran. The only thing he said was change. He ran on his whole thing was change. We can do it. Change. But he never said, y'all never put no reparations platform in front of him. Y'all never placed no black regentrification platform in front of him. You never put all that, police brutality and all of those things, you never put it before him. You never asked him to make a change for that. You never came to him on a personal basis. Now, Dr. Anderson says he did. All right. I don't know if that's true or not. There's no way to confirm it. There's no way to deny it. But what I'm trying to say is that you got to put stuff before these guys and then hold them accountable. That's how politics is played. You can't not hold this person accountable. You have to. Anyway, accountability, go vote. Anyway, Fast 15 Minutes is up. My name is Judson Powell. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons, and thank you.